Let's get into it. Soul Not For Sale podcast. We got Joe Rogan, Tony Hinchcliffe, and they're talking about a lot of very interesting things. In this episode, we're going to be touching on Owen Shroyer, someone from InfoWars who actually ended up getting locked up for a certain protest that happened in January. Then we're going to be talking about the new movie Civil War, which is coming out or has come out already, which I have my view of that. And I think it's just despicable when they make movies like this, right as we're in these type of tensions. And Joe Rogan's going to be giving his thoughts on the people who have chosen to take Trump off of their ballots. And I think he's really on point with this one. Let's get right into it. Don't forget about IamCoachColin.com. We got Soul Not For Sale. We got Public Enemy #1. And you got the shirt that I'm wearing right now. Discount code is IamCoachColin, all capital letters, all one word, 1 L in the name Colin. Let's get into this clip.
Are you
this boy to girl, girl to boy?
Oh, man. And she's laughing, too, because it's like she knows what's up.
I'm sure you're aware of this, but that lady got arrested who was on your show saying that she stormed the Capitol.
Yeah.
The feds came and got her. They're like, oh, yeah?
I found out about this last night in the middle of a show, but didn't even have time to think about it or read the articles.
Yeah, they're going hard after people that went into the Capitol.
Red Band mentioned that it may have been because of our show.
It is because of your show.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, that's how the feds are watching the show.
Oh, my
Shout out to the FBI. I swear to God, I wasn't there. I wouldn't go there. I'm not into that. It's not my thing.
Damn. That's wild. Oh, man, she got her in trouble.
Yeah, it's not good to brag about breaking into the fucking Capitol. I was first wave up the stairs. She shouted in the microphone. January 6th video footage shows I took a little pepper spray. I didn't think I'd ever be sprayed by cops in my own country. I support the police. The arrest warrant states the FBI confirmed the couple's identity through cell phone and credit card records, flight and hotel bookings, and physical surveillance of their Santa Ynez home. They surveilled their homes. In June, Jones defended her actions while speaking at a comedy show in Austin. Jones said she did not do anything that she thought was illegal. She only entered a public section of the building, not a private office or any other restricted area. I've been to the Capitol multiple times. There's never been any reason not to go in. Well, that's just dumb. That's just being dumb. If you see a mob storming into the Capitol, don't go in there. Don't go in there. Because didn't they arrest people that didn't go in?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, they put that one dude in jail from InfoWars. What is his name? Owen? I forget how to pronounce his last name. But I think he went to jail for like 7 months. And he was never even there. What did he go to jail for?
It says 2 months.
2 months. Was he sentenced for 7 months? Or was it 70 days?
Prosecutors said he, quote, helped create by spewing violent rhetoric and spreading baseless claims of election fraud to hundreds of thousands of viewers.
Wow.
Pled guilty to illegally entering a restricted area.
What area is that? So did he go into the Capitol?
Says he didn't enter the Capitol, but he led a march to the building and led rioters and chants. Yeah. He's among only a few people charged in the riot who neither went inside the building nor were accused of engaging in violence or destruction.
Here's where he fucked up. Should have joined the FBI first. If he joined the FBI and then did that, they'd be like, good job. You got everybody to go in there.
Crazy. I don't know what's going to happen next. The reason why I didn't get to read about that article is because when I checked the news right before bed after a long night last night, all I could see was that Colorado voted to have Trump off the ballot.
There's so much wild shit going on, dude.
That there, and I rarely am like, oh no, with the news, but that one there scares me.
The guy that did Ex Machina just did a new movie called Civil War. That's coming out.
That's exactly what I pictured.
Have you seen the trailer? Let's play the trailer because it looks dope. And that Ex Machina guy, what's his name, Jamie? Alex Garland. He's the shit. That Ex Machina is one of my all-time favorite movies. That movie gives me the creeps every time I watch it. Yeah. Because I'm like, if I was that guy and that robot was talking to me, I'd get seduced too. Yep. She's so hot. She's so hot, and she knows how to pull strings.
The United States Army ramps up activity. The White House issued warnings to the Western forces as well as the Florida Alliance. The three-term president assures the uprising will be dealt with swiftly.
Let me know if you want to try anything on.
I guess aware there's like a pretty huge civil war going on all across America.
We just try to stay out with what we see on the news. Seems like it's for the best.
Citizens of America, the so-called Western forces of Texas and California have suffered a very great defeat at the hands of the United States military.
Mr. President, do you regret the use of airstrikes against American citizens? We're moving to D.C. today.
We need to go down there.
They shoot journalists on sight in the Capitol. Every instinct in me says this is death.
Bloody.
Every time I survive the war zone, I thought I was sending a warning home. Don't do this. But here we are.
There's some kind of misunderstanding here. What? We're American, okay? Okay. What kind of American are you? You don't know?
The Western forces will reach the White House on July 4th.
Yeah, bro. This can really happen. You tell me that dude who said, what kind of American are you? Tell me he doesn't have a Trump flag on his truck? What are you doing? Those are the people with the guns. You're picking a fight with them? If they really think, rather, that you're trying to steal the government, if they really think you're trying to subvert democracy, by using the 14th Amendment, which is insurrection, which I believe, check this, make sure this is correct, I believe they created that amendment because of the Civil War. And I believe they created that amendment to keep people that fought against the Union Army from holding elected office. Yep. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Former officers of the Confederate Army.
I think anybody who's in the Confederate Army. I think anybody who was in the insurrection. Like, say, I think even if you were a soldier, I think it was to stop that.
Yeah.
Which is why, meanwhile, it's a legal term. Again, I don't know if you know this, but I'm not a legal scholar.
Right.
All right. I think the term is very specific, like what it means. So Trump has neither been indicted nor convicted for insurrection.
Right.
But if you're pulling him off the ballot for insurrection, that seems crazy.
And again, it's like, of course, every other state with a Democratic or liberal leaning Supreme Court is going to follow this lead. They don't want to be behind Colorado. They're going to go, we have to show America that we're more woke than, we're more aware than Colorado. Let's do this.
If that happens, that's a very scary thing. That's very scary because regardless of what you think about Trump as a personality and this air quotes threat to democracy, what is democracy if it's not people having the ability to choose an elected leader? What is democracy? Like, what are you saying? Threat to what? If you are literally subverting democracy because you think someone's a threat to democracy, you're a threat to democracy.
100%.
Just by what you're doing.
Yeah.
Just because people believe that this one person is absolutely, that's the whole reason why people have elections. One group has to make a case that they would be better leaders and they have a better plan. They have a better path forward for America. If you think they're wrong, the whole idea of democracy is you're supposed to have a better case. That's what the debates are for. That's what the campaign trail is for. And when they stand in front of the people and they tell the people, when I become president, I will fix this and I will fix that. And everybody goes, yay. That's what they're doing. Now, if you're saying that they can't do that, that's a threat to democracy. If you're saying they can't state their case, if you're saying they literally can't be on the ballot.
Right.
Because that's insane.
Yeah.
And it's 4 out of 7 chose that. 4 said yes, 3 said no.
It's crazy.
Is that correct? 3 or 2? 3 said yes, 2 said no?
It was 4-3.
4-3. So 4 said yes, 3 said no.
Check an article the BBC put out.
What does it say?
It's for now. This only is for the state's primary election.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to probably be held up in court for appeals past the deadline, which is January 4th. So it might not matter.
Why would it not matter?
Because it's going to it wouldn't affect his ability to be on the primary ballot, according to what this is saying. If it doesn't go in effect until January 4th and then it's held up in court because of an appeal, then they can't block him from being on that ballot. It's also not for the presidential ballot, which would be in November.
One thing, if there was no allegations of criminal activity from the current president. If the current president is someone like Barack Obama, who is way better president by everyone's account, the way.
By whose account? Whose account? Not the people smoldering and drone strikes and whatnot. Anyway, what I'm going to show you guys is a clip of Owen Shroyer. Shroyer, I believe his name is. Sorry, I'm mispronouncing that. I'm going to show you a clip of him and Tucker Carlson speaking. Just a quick clip because Tucker Carlson did do an interview with him that you can find on his network, on his website. But I did find a little bit of a clip of it. And then we're going to go into Civil War, that whole movie that's coming out. So let's jump over there. But also, let's talk about what Joe just said. Everything Joe just said. I've been saying this since the first episode I've made about Trump getting taken off the ballot. The thing that you're trying to preserve democracy by shaking it at its core, by crumbling it a little bit. It's not just, I'm saying it again, it's not just democracy, it's people's view of democracy. And people are going to start looking at it and go, I don't know that there's any democracy because I wanted to vote for a person and now I can't. I wanted to support somebody and I can't. And if for some reason I can only support who my government tells me I can support. That is a terrible place to be in. It is just a terrible place for a country to be in. That is some odd, what does Joe always say, banana republic type of stuff. That is some odd third world country. That's some stuff you'd expect to hear in Cuba. If you heard that in Cuba, you'd go, oh, okay, that's how Cuba. It's Cuba. You shrug your shoulders. But to hear about that in the United States of America is absolutely ridiculous. And how sinister it feels that the current establishment, the current administration, current establishment isn't up in arms. The fact that the current administration is this kind of straight-faced, like, is that happening? No, we're focused on other things. We have no say in that. You know, when Trump led that whole thing of lock her up, all of that stuff and how fun it was and everything like that, there was some things that needed to be looked into. And he didn't do it. You know why he didn't do it? Because he felt like that's not what you're supposed to do to a political rival. You can't be head to head with somebody and then look at them and say, and now I'm going to lock you up. Now I'm in power. Now I'm going to lock you up. You can't. He knew not to do that. You know, he could have pardoned himself before. A lot of people don't realize that. They're like, oh, he'll pardon himself when he's in. He won't. Because he could have done that before. He had the opportunity to do it before he left. And the reason that he didn't, he's like, I didn't do anything wrong. He's like, so I know if this goes to court, it will be fine because I didn't do anything wrong. And in a just system, if you're innocent, you'll be found innocent and everything will be fine. That is literally why he didn't do it. He's like, I should not take the liberty of pardoning myself. I will handle it in court because I did nothing wrong. That's how things are supposed to be. Right now, this administration could look at what's going on and say, don't do this. We are the better people. We have the better plans, the better foreign policies. We are better. People support us more. Do not do this to the ballots. We don't need this. That's what they could do. That is what the Biden administration could do right now. But they're choosing not to, and they're standing back, oddly silent while all of this is going on. It's a little ridiculous in my opinion. Let's get into this first clip from Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson interviewed this gentleman. Just a quick breakdown, just so you can hear it from him himself. Mr. Owen, allow me to mispronounce his name again. Shroyer, I believe his name is. Here, let's get into that. I like how it says Barack Obama, a true legacy, right beside it. All right, let's get into it.
Accused of going inside the Capitol building on January 6th. You were not accused of setting anything on fire or committing any act of violence. So, I mean, on what grounds could they steal your cell phones and violate your most basic privacies? I don't understand that. Like, what's the crime?
Well, the whole notion that the U.S. attorneys was arguing is that somehow I was behind the entire event that day. That's what their whole notion is that somehow I led the charge for what resulted in January 6th and people going into the Capitol and everything else. And I wanted to prove beyond a reasonable doubt, look, here's all my communications. That was never anybody's plan. I had nothing to do with that. I never went in the building. And they acknowledged that. And they still decided to come down heavy-handed on me. But it's worth mentioning too, Tucker, part of the process here with me turning all of this over and cooperating, my attorney and my understanding was that they weren't going to press for jail time. That was the mutual understanding that we had here. And then they tried to hit me with 120 days. And I'm not curious if that didn't come from the minds of the U.S. attorneys, but perhaps someone higher up at the DOJ. I might even believe it's at the very top of the DOJ. Maybe Merrick Garland is the one who's trying to put me behind bars and make an example out of me.
Absolutely wild. Again, you can find that full interview on Tucker Carlson Uncensored. That is a segment that he has on his channel. It's pretty good. Again, if you're on X, I would scour X first to see if it's something that he's giving out for free before you go and make your payment. But I will say that it's going to be worth it to make that payment. Not getting paid, don't know Tucker, nothing of the sort. Just I do think it's going to be a great network. I think it's going to wreck CNN. I think it's going to wreck CNN. I think it's going to rival Fox. It might pass Fox. I think it's going to do really well. As soon as he starts bringing on other voices, and it's not just him, because right now it's just him. And a lot of him, a lot of interviews, but a lot of him. As soon as a few other voices come on, it's gonna be game over for those. As their slogan goes at the Tucker Carlson Network, corporate media is dead. So Tucker Carlson is the nail in the coffin. So very interesting to hear. If I was to say that gentleman getting pushing for jail time for that guy had nothing to do with him being a part of InfoWars, you'd be crazy. And the fact that he led these marches, he led these chants, but again, all they were doing exactly what President Trump said, peacefully, respectfully. They marched up, they were chanting, they were making themselves known. That's it. That's all he did. He didn't even go inside. Still going to get jail time. It's a rough one. And how crazy is it that somebody, listen, I think you completely have the right to protest, right? But that comedian that went on Tony's show and talked about getting pepper sprayed and they talked about just, I don't know, that was a little silly. A little silly for you to see what's going on with everybody who participated in J6 and to think that you're going to go on stage and you're going to talk about it and nothing's going to happen. And then also the fact that the FBI is watching. Maybe the FBI is just watching everybody Joe Rogan's intertwined with. Maybe that's going on. Maybe, how Laurel Canyon was a place where a lot of weird stuff went on? Maybe Austin, Texas is the new Laurel Canyon. I don't know. Now let's move on to this whole Civil War thing that's going on right now. I myself, when the pandemic hit, a movie came out that was about the pandemic. It was a weird thing. People were thinking, what is the worst possible scenario when it came to that whole thing? People were scared, and then someone made a movie showing that exact worst case scenario. When I see movies like that, for me, it's disgusting. Again, it's just, I don't know. For me, it's just disgusting. People are already on edge. People are already scared. People are already, if you live in Maine, Colorado, and you're going to vote for a certain person, your view of democracy is shaking. Everyone's on edge. And what you think is the good thing to do is to make a movie depicting the worst case scenario. So many people for the past 2, 3, 4, 5 years, some people have talked about possible civil war taking place. And that talk has ramped up more and more. Then to make a movie about it and to show it. I mean, we don't even have to step into predictive programming. I just think it's a shitty thing to do. I just think you shouldn't be doing that to the American people. But again, I'll also say in the same breath, you should be able to make whatever movie you want, right? Can't stop someone from making a movie. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't like it. And I especially don't like it going back to predictive programming. Not even predictive programming. Just the message that this movie puts out, because it's civil war. So what's civil war? That's a war between the people, the right and the left, but not the elite, because it certainly wouldn't be ex-politician here and ex-politician there leading this civil war. That's not going to happen. It's just going to be the people versus the people. So what are they really positioning when they show you this movie? What are they really trying to make you think? They're trying to make you think, well, it's not the elites that are the problem. No, it's your neighbor. Well, you saw that guy. Even Joe said it. Ridiculously. Oh, you know that guy. That guy would have a Trump flag in his pickup truck or in his backseat, whatever he said. That's what they're trying to make you think. They're trying to make you think that your neighbor is the problem, that your fellow man is the problem, rather than who's actually the problem. I don't like that at all, man. I don't like that at all. And it just keeps you on edge. It's such an odd thing to do. And then again, I brought it up at the beginning, to have it paired. Like, what did that movie, Leave the World Behind? That came out when? Just a month ago, if that? So now you have that movie come out, and now you're having this movie come out. Like, what are you trying to do to people? What are you trying to do to people's psyches when you're putting movies like that out? Again, you can't stop it, because, that's a slippery slope. What the government's going to be like, you can't do that. Can't show people this image. Like, you can't have that. But it just kind of shows, Hollywood, agencies, politics, they all go hand in hand, So when I see something like that, I'm like, you're just trying to keep people on edge. Like, and why? Why are you trying to keep people on edge? I was listening to Jimmy Dore and Tucker Carlson talk, and they were talking about the homeless issue and how it hasn't been fixed because of that same purpose. They're trying to keep people on edge. They're trying to show you the worst case scenario. You're complaining about the way things are, but you could be one of those people. You claim you have it really bad where you live, but you don't live in a tent, do you? Here's the example. Here's tent city over there, and this guy there, and, fecal matter here. Well, you have a washroom, don't you? Trying to keep you on edge. Trying to show you the worst case scenarios all around you. I don't like that at all, man. I really don't. My eyes are bothering me. I really don't like that. But that's what I think it is. I think it's to keep you on edge. So yeah, when I see movies like this, it just gets to me. I'm like, why are you doing this? You know what it's like? It's like you're kicking society while society's down. But, again, it's like that person who just figured out they can't vote for the person they want to vote for. People all around the country looking around saying, like, is this even my country? It's already down. People are already feeling down. And then you give them this kick. Hey, here, civil war. That might break out too. Get inside your houses. Like, it's like, what are you trying to do to people? Are you trying to have that erupt? I don't know. I don't get it. All I can really come up with is they're trying to keep people on edge. They're trying to show you the worst case scenario. And when I say they, I think they all kind of roll together. Again, I say it again. The agencies, Hollywood, politics, politicians, I think they're all one big thing. They're one big thing. And they're pushing people a little too far. They're messing with ballots. They're showing you the worst case scenario every chance they can get. They're not giving you any time to breathe. They're not giving you any time to say, okay, things are looking kind of bright. And there's a big problem with that. People won't put up with that forever. Anyways, guys, share this episode. It helps tremendously. Like the episode. It helps tremendously. And subscribe if you haven't already. And other than that, I'm out.